Hello again, and welcome to another episode of Math Made Easy. In this episode, we're going to be looking at how to solve number sequences using addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Alright, the first one we're going to look at is addition. Now when you're presented with a number sequence, the first thing that you have to do is figure out which kind of math you're going to be using. What kind of math is involved in the pattern. The way to identify and know that you're dealing with an addition sequence is to look at the numbers that you're given. Here we have 2, 5, 8, 11. Well, if we start here with the first number and check to see if this can be addition, it sure can. We can add 2 plus something and get 5, right? We can add 5 plus something and get 8, and we can add 8 plus something and get 11. Now the only other thing this can be is multiplication, because in both addition and multiplication patterns or sequences, the number that comes after the previous number is larger. So this 5 is larger than the 2, the 8 is larger than the 5, and the 11 is larger than the 8. However, in multiplication sequences, the number that comes after has to be a multiple of the number that comes before. For example, we should be able to take 2 times something and get 5 evenly. We should be able to take 5 times something and get 8 evenly. And we can't do that. So, 2, 5, 8, and 11, there's an addition pattern going on here. Let's see what it is. If we start at 2, what do we have to add to get 5? That's right, we add 3. And if we start at 5, what do we add to get 8? Once again, 3. And if we start at 8, what do we have to get 11? Yes, also 3. So the pattern appears to be plus 3, or add 3. So if we're at 11, we add 3, we get 14. We're at 14, we add 3, we get 17. And we're at 17, we add 3, and we get 20. That's all there is to using addition in number sequences. Just remember to check first to make sure that you are going to be using addition. Alright, the next one we're going to look at here is multiplication. Multiplication is like an addition sequence in that the number that comes after the previous one is larger. For example, 4 is larger than 2, 8 is larger than 4, and 16 is larger than 8. So when you first look at this, inside your head you could be thinking, oh, this is either an addition or multiplication sequence. Well, to find out which one it is, you could test out first addition. Well, if this is an addition sequence, what do you have to get here? If you're at 2, how much do you add to get 4? Okay, well, let's see, you'd add 2. Well, if I'm at 4, what do I have to add to get 8? I add 4. Wait a minute. The pattern changed. Now, let's test one more. If I'm at 8, what do I have to add to get 16? I add 8. Well, the pattern doesn't seem to be consistent. It's not the same, so addition probably isn't the pattern here. Let's try multiplication. Well, multiplication, 2 times what gives me 4? 2 times 2. Well, if we're at 4, 4 times what gives me 8? 4 times 2. Oh, this is looking better. 8 times what gives me 16? 8 times 2 gives me 16. Okay, now we have a consistent pattern here. Multiplication must be the kind of math that we're supposed to use here. So, 16 times 2, 32. 32 times 2, 64. 64 times 2, 128. So, that's all there is to using multiplication in number sequences. First check, see if it can be an addition sequence, and if it can't, then you know it's going to be a multiplication sequence as long as the numbers that come after the previous numbers are larger. Alright, now let's look at using subtraction in number sequences. Again, look at your sequence first. And look at the numbers in the sequence to figure out whether you're going to be using subtraction. You know that you're going to be using subtraction or division if the number that comes after the previous number is smaller. The 12 is smaller than the 15, the 9 is smaller than the 12. Now, if this is a subtraction problem, you should be able to subtract and get the same pattern. So let's see, if we start at 15 here, and we subtract to 12, how much are we taking away? Exactly, we're taking away 3. If we start at 12 and take away, and subtract all the way to 9, how much are we taking away? That's right, the difference is -3. Oh, we have a consistent pattern here. Therefore, we must be able to use subtraction in this number sequence. So we just continue the pattern. 9 minus 3, 6, 6 minus 3, 3, and 3 minus 3 is 0. That's all there is to subtraction sequences. Alright, our last one is division. When using division in a number sequence, the same as all the other number sequences, look at your numbers first to know and make sure that you're going to be using division, because remember, division and subtraction number sequences have a similarity. The number that comes after the previous number is smaller. 24 is smaller than 48, 12 is smaller than 24. Now you can test to see if this is going to be a subtraction sequence. If it is, we should have a consistent pattern between these numbers. Let's see if it is a subtraction sequence. First, what's the difference between 48 and 24? Well, there's a difference of minus 24. So we're subtracting 24 from 48 to get 24. If we start at 24 and go to 12, we should have the same pattern here. Let's see, 24 minus 24 to 12 here. Let's see, there's a difference of a minus 12. Uh-oh, our pattern is not the same, which means we're not going to be using subtraction in this sequence. Instead, we're going to be using division. So if we're using division, what do we have to divide 48 by to get 24? It's a little tricky, huh? Well, let's see. 48 divided by 24. 24 goes into 48 once, maybe. Let's just take a risk and say twice. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 2 is... oh! Okay, it goes in evenly twice. So we're dividing by 2. What about 24 divided by something gives us 12? Well, let's try 24 divided by 2. 24 divided by 2. 2 goes into 2 once. 2 goes into 4 twice. Oh, there's the 12. So, sure enough, the pattern is divided by 2. So, if we start at 12 and divide by 2, what's half of 12? Remember that whenever we divide by 2, it's just like chopping something in half. 12 divided by 2. What times 2 equals 12? That's right, 6. And one more. Divided by 2. 6 divided by 2 gives us what? What times 2 equals 6? That's right, 3. Alright, that's all there is to using division in solving number sequences. So, to solve the number sequences, first, look for a pattern between the given numbers. Then, decide whether that pattern is using addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division. And then once you know, use that pattern to solve and complete the sequence. That's all there is to it. Well, good luck with the number sequences, and I hope this helped you, and I'll see you next time.